Freaking mic. I swear.
When
I
we
gotta
last,
get a new headset. Sorry.
it's fine. When we last left off, everyone had encountered well, a few leading ties to what has transpired so far in the city. Some have met distant relatives, while others have met newer relatives. Some joined facets of, let's just call it an established church, but you technically don't really know what they are. Well, I'll give you more context clues when we're actually jumping into guns. But suffice to say, one of you joined the Council of Five. Morthos headed out along with another to find out what exactly the cops had to say and gathered quite a bit of information and some monetary value in the city. Let's see here. You also got some envelopes, I believe, that are sealed and have yet to be opened. I'm going to take a silence and yes. Zold Cerulean had set out to go meet at a brothel. Not for the exact purposes of going to a brothel, but hey, that still happened, so they had a nice time, met some family. Weird place to meet family, but hey, no one likes a person that judges. In the meantime, Q, as mentioned before, joined what appeared to be a cult and found and met another tiefling with the same type of patterning system that Morthos has, but different. Whatever that transpired to, she made mention that she's looking for a tiefling that is also different. While things were going on, oh, you took him off of the table. Peep was eating until Morthos told him to stop because he did not want him to grow any taller and bigger and potentially a dangerous, huggable threat. Well, probably the consuming part and then no longer having money after that. But we'll see how that transpires.
I mean, technically, he can't hurt anybody when he smothers them.
That's true. That aside, everyone returned back to the orphanage. You do have a stay, if you'd like to, at a brothel that Zold bought out for the night. He hasn't made mention of that yet, but that's something you can do. Enda and Farah seem exhausted after shopping with Zen. And that's basically what she did. And now you're all back together before anything truly has gone and conversed. Now, that aside, you can just say you said everything to everyone, or you can recap on what happened last week, as it has been some time.
Morthos, yeah, we gotta keep you away from the church. Definitely.
I've been saying this the entire time.
I'm going to, Q's gonna do air quotes, and, cult, or I mean church I joined, there's a girl there looking.
Specifically me?
She didn't technically say you, but she basically gave me a somewhat description of maybe you.
Right.
She looks just like you. The skin color, she's younger, but the skin color and stuff, she looks to be just. Bye. I'll keep Peep.
No. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been saying. Also here, and I'm going to hand out the packets.
You hand out
these from the guards.
Correct. They're the amount of envelopes is the number that you gave him. Like, you remember when I said how many people helped you out? That's one of the reasons why they needed that information.
Oh, and Zen, let's not be a tiefling right now.
I mean, I haven't had any issue so far. Well,
yeah,
they wouldn't let me pay myself. I had to get Anna to do that for me, but it seemed okay.
I mean, you look great, but it's the group that I just went and visited, the Circle Council. It's the Council of Five, right?
Council of Five.
Yeah, the Council of Five. they investigate every tiefling that enters the city, and that's eyes we don't need.
I mean, from what you said, I mean, I'll change. That's not a problem. But from what you said, they're not really looking for the standard tiefling.
Right. It's just they watch every tiefling. That's the thing, or at least that's what I got from them. Meaning they're still probably watching.
I mean, if that's the case, and I change, and they see me different around you, wouldn't that cause suspicion?
I don't think they know you're with me, but yeah, I get your point.
That aside, it's not completely entirely true. Morthos, however, does know that the air quote, unair quote, police captain knows that you're a group. Had tried to identify this based on how many people that Morthos given him, and based on that calculation, could easily identify that this group is a group.
Right.
I'm sure we could come up with some sort of excuse.
Oh yeah, you can totally say, I sold off the tiefling to another family that required an indentured servant and hired, air quotes, a new one. Or
right.
met up with an old friend.
Another thing, had a meeting with the current ruler. He seems nice. I like him. Suggested, but more or less, I get the feeling not suggested, but telling me I needed to hire people.
More or less, yes.
So, Morthos, you're the farmhand. While we're in town, of course. Ray, you're gonna be my house wizard, if you want. Cerulean, I kind of look over at Cerulean, then look at Zold, then back to Cerulean, and like, would you like to be my quote unquote how to say this? Bye.
If the rest of the team's working on this established cover, that should be fine. Although, if I'm going to be spying, I will have to connect with the underground system, which means we're going to have to, before more than likely most of you are ready, go and meet with the big bad of the black market.
Zold, I'd like you to be the head of the guard.
Sure, but how many people are in the guard exactly?
I have to work these things out. It's a mess right now with everything going on with my father and the stuff. So
Correct.
But the ruler basically didn't come out and say it outright, but I felt it's what he meant, that I needed to get my house in order.
Yes, from what you can tell and the way he was describing things, your father was doing things that were unorthodox.
Yeah.
Do you have some paperwork at your house that maybe didn't catch on fire that you could go and collect? But
Yeah,
based on
that's what
how...
I would have done that on the way back here.
Okay,
On the walk
roll insight then.
over.
Not insight, investigation. Like 3 times.
Right, choose my one skill that I have a +0 in. Natural 20,
Okay,
4,
okay.
and a 15.
Okay, you found what appeared to be a very big box of collected goods, wares, and memorabilia. Inside there seems to be one ledger book, which most likely will tell you where the money is currently going. And the rest seems to be a gemstone, the value of 1,000. The gemstone's a diamond, so it's 1,000 gold. what appears to be a golden statue in an unorthodox manner, standing upright, holding what appears to be a sphere in hand, and what resembles them throwing it in the distance, but it has yet to leave their hand.
A gold statue.
The value for it is 50 gold. On the other side seems to be a ceremonial dagger indicating status within your house, as well as the emblem on your house. So the ceremonial dagger that you technically wield as the head of your house.
Okay. And Zen, would you be willing to act as the cleric?
Sure, that's fine, but I don't plan on staying here.
No, I know I don't either. But he just said that I needed to get things in order. Basically.
She nods.
I will say this. If we need something while we're in here, I have a little bit of some money that I can't take with us. So if we need to stock up on some supplies, we should stock up while we're here.
Ray's eyes light up.
I have a sizable amount of gold we can use for a little bit about some stuff.
She nods. She doesn't need it, but she does nod. Appreciative of said response.
I'm just saying, like, I always wonders how sizable the amount is. Gotcha. I can't bring it with us as it would look to the other houses as I'm trying to look for greener pastures, so to speak.
Oh,
And
that makes sense.
This was said to me by the current ruler, so I'd like not to piss him off. He seems like a decent person. I actually found what's this saying? His ideals are somewhat similar to mine.
I mean, it would make sense why he wouldn't want you to bring out any of the money you have. It could also.
Oh, he didn't outright say it. He didn't care. He basically said it as a warning to me about the other families.
No, I get that. It just makes monetary. It makes sense. Is what I'm saying.
Right. But I'm going to pull out a piece of paper and write down the amount he told me, and just don't say anything, but pass it around. And I'm gonna write down 15,000.
15,000 what?
Gold is the amount I have access to.
Okay. Are you meaning to lie?
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't matter because they can't exactly look at the paper and determine that that's a lie. I just needed to know. All right.
It's a mixed mash of. It's not all gold, but.
Yeah. But you give the quantitative amount and then you hand it over to Zen. She looks at it, nods, and passes the message along to Ray.
Is your house poor?
No.
Because I think I've gotten this much money from Morthos.
That's just the amount I have access to spend on. I'm assuming that's a monthly amount.
You could assume that
Dogma?
this is the amount that you are able to spend regardless of anything that your house has to offer. Your dad wasn't poor, but he did establish a lot of things. There's
Yeah.
farms, employees, workflow. new employees that you're now hiring. This is basically your fun money.
Yeah, this is. I'll look at Keel. Look at Ray. No, Ray. This is fun money. This is spending money on whatever the fuck I want.
Unfortunately, though, you didn't get the quantitative amount. Like, is this fun money for the week, or the month? You didn't
Right.
ask, so.
But I would assume I would know from the ledger, correct?
Oh,
Reading over the ledger.
I mean, you said you found it. Are you taking a look at it?
Yeah. I would have read it on the way here.
Oh no, it's a big book. But you can tell.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
gotcha.
say because you have the quantitative amount, and you could look at the basic monetary value in the book. This is like the quantitative amount for the week. Like if anything, you need to grease any palms,
Right.
attend any parties, so you had to get a big extravagant gift.
Yeah. This is basically to make it through a week.
Make it through a
so,
week.
This is to help with business propositions. All the rest is to pay tribute to the royalty, pay businesses, pay our workers. That's linked to the family, and so on. But this is to like, in case I need to grease any palms or we need to get something. And this is the amount I get
Such
every week.
A house mage?
Yes, everybody would get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pass the note on to Cerulean is next?
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't even look at it and passes it along.
I'll nod to her.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Zolt does the same thing, just kind of passes it along.
I'm just letting you guys know that that's what we have access to right now
All
to
right.
help in any endeavor we need, like greasing palms and so on.
Peep looks at the note, pass it along to Marthos.
And I pass it on without even looking at it.
I'll
Show
just tuck.
off.
I'll just light a I see. Do I have that ability? That spell? I can't remember. Yeah, I'll just burn it up with the sacred flame.
I mean, sure, or you can ask for a candle.
I mean,
I will remind you that Sacred Flame is a
radiant.
cantrip
Never mind.
that does radiant damage and
Radiant.
forces
Yeah.
a target to make a dex saving throw.
You look around,
Right.
wondering if Sacred Flame can catch this small piece of paper on fire. Anna, after sending the kids to bed, and, well, technically it's like 8 p.m., so really early. But who knows? Maybe something else is happening. Also sending Clara and John to make sure that they're going to sleep. She comes over with a candle and lights it for you. She casts a small, simple cantrip and then hands it over. That should probably burn the paper. I don't know what secret you have, but I don't really need to.
Right. Did y'all have fun shopping?
No. Farina comes over to Marthos, kind of whispers, but not really whispers, but says it quietly, so that Zen doesn't hear. Her past perception is pretty low, but I think everyone else, if you have a 16, could hear this. But if you don't, that's perfectly fine. She just simply states, I think I'm good with shopping for a while, so if she wants to go shopping again, saying this to Marthos, do you mind, trying to change the subject?
We can try.
She has an icy
She-
stare in her eyes.
She is very adamant about shopping.
Zen looks happy though. Her pouch does seem to be a bit bigger. She might have bought a few outfits, less than you would expect, but more than most of you could afford, except for Marthos and Zold, if he ever melts down that bar.
Well, I'll I kind of whisper over towards it's Farina, right? Is how you said it.
Farina, yeah.
Yeah, I'll kind of whisper over towards her, saying if she wants to go shopping, I'll distract her.
Okay. At first, she thought you wanted to go shopping too, but then you finished the sentence and nods.
I'll go shopping anytime with Zen.
It's not what she was saying, but okay. Anna then states, "Now then, besides that, are you planning to stay the night? I can make up a bed here, but it would not be private. So if you have any hidden secrets you want kept, I don't know, maybe make a small tent in the kitchen area."
Don't worry about the rooms. I've secured us a place.
Oh, looks at
You
your
have?
motley crew.
Yeah, yeah, we can't quite stay at my place at the moment.
Yes, I know. I was there with Verena not too long ago. Verena
No,
then states, "Yeah, it's probably still on fire."
no, the fire was out.
The fire was not out. It's also now
I
on
thought
ice
you said
and on
that-
fire.
I thought you said the ice was melting, putting out the fire.
I said putting it out. I didn't say it was put out.
I mean, people would have probably put it out by now.
I'm just
It's
messing with
late.
you, Star. Yeah, by now they would have put it in out. It's been a couple hours. But, rebuilding. That aside, they do know what happened, or at least vaguely. But Anna then states, "Well, that's perfectly fine, although I hope they can accommodate all of you. I mean, the Asimar Cerulean should be fine, but I don't know about..." She vaguely gestures towards Zen. The tiefling.
Right, it's fine.
Well, good luck to you. If you do need help, our doors are always open. Well, knock, and then we'll open them. We don't want any random person walking in.
Quick question. Maybe you can answer this since you're from the city.
Depends on what...
Keep forgetting to do something with this. I must want the 2 platinum bells that I have. Have you seen these before?
Where did you acquire them?
Can we get those from Catboy?
You got those from... Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I need to lie. Happened to find them in the city that we're from.
Well, if
They were on the ground somewhere. I just happened to notice them.
Did you shake them?
No.
I suggest you don't shake them. From what I'm aware of, and she makes the wildest gestures, but you completely can tell that she's completely aware of them. Rumor has it that these are thieving bells, and if you shake, one is to call in reinforcements, and one is to... Well, I don't know the secondary meaning to it, but one is to call for reinforcements, so they would know where you are. And the second one, I am not completely sure. But I have been told that it is bad. As in
Maybe
a
Ray should
last-ditch
identify 'em.
effort to do.
If they're magical.
It's more than likely that they're magical.
Yeah, maybe Ray should identify him when we get to say.
Yeah, I'll take some time to do that if Morthos wants me to.
Very gingerly hand them over.
Roll dexterity, I'm just kidding.
Dick.
Zold, you mentioned having a place for us to stay tonight. Where is it?
I do. It's an inn of sorts. It's not too far away.
An inn of
Of
sorts?
Farina does state, while you're saying that, there are multiple types of inns here. There are inns for entertainment, inns for simple joys and pleasures. Some inns are gambling establishments. Others are more or less shark broker industries. So it's possible one of those.
Yeah, it's meant for pleasure for sure.
As she nods.
I think I'll just take a room here if it's not too much trouble?
Anna does state, again, no real room, but you can make a tent somewhere.
Okay, I'll find a corner down here.
That's perfectly
I've
fine.
slept
I
in
myself
the woods before. It's fine.
sleep on top of the roof, and Farina just camps down in the kitchen.
I'll probably sleep on the roof and occasionally take watch and just watch over the city.
All right, is what Anna states. Basically, that's what she does. But okay, company. Either way, Cerulean does state. All right, we basically have. Then looks towards the two NPCs. Do you guys mind giving us some room? I mean, no offense, but this might be private depending on what the group feels like. Anna then states, that's perfectly fine. You all have your own things to deal with. If you need me, I'll be in the corner tidying up, and Farina will be making her bed. Yeah, that's not a problem. And they diverge. Cerulean then states, so, we have most of the information, but what exactly we're going to do first? And, well, I should say, we have information, but maybe not all of it.
Oh, we still got to do. We still gotta take Zen to see her family. Then we've gotta find Giovanni. Then we gotta look into these disappearances.
Cerulean does state, Giovanni isn't that much of a hard find. I did work
Right.
for the guy, and if I had to guess, he's still in his little lair.
I mean, we gotta get to the bottom of it. What's his deal?
Fair enough. Zen does state, I mean, if you guys want, we can wait on mine. I'm not exactly in a rush to go head
Well,
first.
It's at that point I'll do a complete rundown of how I saw the vision and tell everybody exactly what I saw.
All right. You give everyone a prothetic dream of events that have yet to pass or may not pass, of ambulances in the distance corner. I don't know if you can hear them.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of that, a concern, and not too far off concern, of the shadows and the people in them. Family ties meaning nothing, and of ultimate death depending on what events lead forwards. Yes.
I'd like to get that over with if we can. We don't have to worry about too much. Not meaning anything about it, Zen, but
Again, I don't mind waiting, but if you guys want to get it over with, I'm fine with that.
Let's do what we have to. Let's rest up and head out in the morning.
Right, she's pretty nods.
well, oh yeah, I'll tell them about the cult thing.
Okay. I don't think any of you... are any of you proficient in... No, not proficient. Have expertise in religion?
No.
I might know. Let me check.
I do.
I have profession. What's the word? Sorry.
Proficiency.
Proficiency?
Yeah, that I have proficiency in it, but not expertise.
I do
have
not know.
expertise.
Okay, so Ray might know. Ray, go ahead and roll for me religion.
Good job.
Nice. From what we can tell, the Council of Five is a very established church order. Not a church itself, but an order. There are 5 primary powers at work within the established order, but they are not exactly the most well liked, as they often are busybodies within anyone else's own domain. But they have access to that thanks to the influence they possess of a high amount of people and greater deities, and not only deities but very powerful entities themselves. While they are not technically necessarily evil, they have done cruel things in the past and in the present in order to make sure that anything and everyone still remains alive. Their main concern is a continuous balance and more or less keeping things to a standstill and making sure everyone continues to live. What's the saying? The need of the many outweigh the need of the few, or the one. So they're willing to sacrifice the few in order to save the rest.
Yep, Morthos is out.
Quite possibly.
We just gotta be wary of him.
To be specific, because you got a 30, they're not out to go and hunting people that are problems. They are out to go and see what they can do. And as a resort, not the first one. If it's possible to sway it in every event, and in any other event, they will. But if there's no real other way, they will take the problem out. But it's not their first go. The first choice.
Right. Well, what are we gonna do in the morning?
I have a lead on where we should go. We can check that out first thing first.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of information. We need to start really digging into one thing at a time. So it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Have I finished identifying those bells?
Yes, I just wanted to see what you guys were at. From what you can tell, the identified bells are a... one of the bells is similar to the sending spell. However, it has a transmuted spell within it already. What's the word? A spell, not a spell. A message already
Phrase.
inscribed within. You don't know and can't read the message, but from what you can tell, whenever you cast said spell bell, poor choice of words, the message gets played out, and there are 4 segment parts that get implemented on the user, by mere thought, which is likely the location, where they're at, how bad they're doing, and how many reinforcements, or the threat level. The secondary bell, however, is it is a technical, and I do mean technical, transportation bell. However, it is a recall bell, which means that if you ring it, and if someone's standing within a circle that is somewhere else, a specific circle, not just a random circle, the individuals inside will get relocated to where the origin of the sound originates from.
So it's first ring the first bell, give it a second, then ring the second to bring in the reinforcements.
Perhaps, unless there's reinforcements that are close enough that they don't need to ring the second.
Right.
Okay, I'll share that with the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
What is your information about Zold? Which lead?
It's a bit of something I learned. I wanted to discuss it in private. It has ramifications.
So you're saying that if we do this, we might not be welcome in the city anymore?
If it doesn't go well, but I think we actually might be more than welcome if it does go well.
Right.
I just better left for walls without ears.
Right. I don't know if there are walls without ears here right now.
Well, that's why I ensured that we had an entire building to ourselves.
Except for the 3rd floor. But you already know that the 3rd floor is warded and protected as well as best one would be able to. So it's not like they're going to bother you. It's more like you're going to bother them.
Well, I understand that, but there is that possibility of not being, if things don't go well, not being welcomed back. So, do you think
We
we
don't-
should?
We don't have to do it, but I do want to discuss some things that I've learned. I
Right.
would like to do so in private.
Right. I was just saying, like, maybe we should take care of our other business first, get that out of the way, then as fast as possible, then take
Mhm.
care of that.
Why don't we?
I'm afraid
least-
this might not be able to wait.
Right.
Let's go discuss it first, and then we can decide from there.
Should we discuss it in the morning? Leave here? Oh, you said you paid for the night, so. Should we go now and then just come back afterwards, or?
We can make our plans after we've talked about it.
I mean, like, should we go to the place you secured and then come back here, or?
Again, we can decide once all the information is on the table.
Oh, right. Gotcha. I misunderstood that part.
So why don't we head out for now?
I'll walk over to Anna and tell her that we're gonna step out for a little bit. We might be back, we might not.
All right, you do so. She simply nods. Currently, Claire and John are about to head for the night as well. That's what you get from that conversation. But she simply nods. She already gave you, hey, if you want to come back, just knock on the door and I'll open it.
Alright. I'll walk back over to the group and...
And yeah, if everyone's all right, then I'll show you the way.
All right. You head over to...
brothel.
Yes, I'm just checking the floor level. Du-du-du. You head over to the inn. Entering inside, there's no one currently there. And, let's see, they would be in GM layer until you actually summon them. So basically, no one's there except for, well, the rest of you. You enter into it further, and you do see that there is one sole bartender. He made a set of drinks. However, they all seem to have caps on them.
Fabio.
Yes. Orc Fabio. Brashiel then looks towards you, looks at the disguised Zold, because this is not how Zold would look like to him. But then simply states, all right, good. You're back. Was surprised you left. That being said, the entertainment will be on your beck and call. We did allow you. He then places one small bell on the desk alongside the rest of the drinks. This bell to summon any of them that you would choose. He gives you a list, or puts down a list next to it. Just ring it. Say a name you would enjoy. And then the entertainment will come soon after. The drinks here will stay cold, hot, depending on the type of beverage you decide to choose. I made many, wasn't exactly sure what kind of a drinking man you are, so I had to guess. But personally, for me, my shift is over, and there is no one for the night, as you had paid for, well, a good time.
Thank you. That'll be all.
Right. Basically hops over. Well, he opens the door. Not depicted. Comes over, nods to the rest of the team, and then heads out. Enjoy your night.
I don't assume we're gonna talk on this floor, or are we?
No, this floor is fine. Why?
I was just wondering. That's all.
No, the whole place is ours. There's some of the management that lives on the uppermost floor, but, well, I would hope that my sister-in-law wouldn't sell us out.
Right. Wait, what?
A story for another time.
Got it.
Way to break the one thing she told you not to tell people. It's a good thing that you haven't shown their face yet.
It's fine.
It's fine. People sit around. Ray's probably a little sketch of the place, so you'll probably sit the closest to the door. Oh, and Morthos beat her to it.
At any rate, I'll let them know everything that I was told. I'll tell them about the eyes and about the lead on the location where we might be able to investigate the alchemists, scientists, engineers.
Yes, you give them the information and the location of said whereabouts. They likely have some security over the night. After all, they are doing a few things that may or may not be ethical. Who's to say? You are to say, depending on what you find. That aside, you do have the information. You do tell them about the strange engine that they are building for not the reasons most of you might think. Well, until now. That being said, you do have this information, and what you do decide to do with it is entirely up to you.
Remind me again what about the engine thing. Sorry.
The engine thing itself said it was being built, but you were never given any specifics on why it was being built. In fact, each time it got brought up, it was curved in a way that it wouldn't give you too much information unless you actually dived for it. But none of you did. But when Zold accidentally dived in, he was told that the engine's real purpose was to bind a creature from underneath, and then was given an image of what that creature, a small portion of what that creature is. The engine itself you don't have complete total knowledge of, but you do know that there is more there than meets the eye.
Well, should I ask a friend of mine what exactly we're up against?
If you would like to, though I've always found that first-hand knowledge is the best.
Well, this is basically... How should I put this? It's new and all, but... I can ask him if he knows anything, and he might answer. Or they might answer. It's just I need to make sure I word it right.
Do as you will.
I mean, I'm asking for tips on how to word it.
I don't know. This is foreign.
Because I know I shouldn't just ask, what is it?
I have told you what I know. I told you what I saw. That's all I have. Maybe we should investigate before you ask your questions.
I mean, you can always
That's true,
check out the lab before you jump in head first.
That is true, because from what I'm understanding about this ability, if they do answer, I have to wait a week before I can ask again. Fair
Let's
enough.
invest. If everyone thinks that this situation is as dire as I do, let's investigate in the morning. First thing. Aye?
I don't think
guess,
anyone. Okay. Does anyone object? Morthos, Ray.
No, that seems acceptable.
Didn't okay, outside of character, didn't Cerulean and Zold find out about Anderson's robotics?
You also found about Anderson Robotics. But yes.
Okay. I mean, I don't see a problem with that.
And they're the ones supposedly behind it.
They're the ones that are fronting the scientists for it. Morthos, I think it slipped your mind, but you do know that the list that your team, air quotes, was on a list of other individuals. More than likely, individuals that the captain is looking into. Take it as you will.
Hey, ritual cast detect magic.
On what?
Well, I want to take a look around this place and see if it's bugged or anything with magic.
Looking around, you don't see anything around you that could be confirmed as magical, except for the bell that's on the counter currently. It did make mention that there was basically a messaging bell there. It's something that you could find if you had enough money for it and you had the schooling for it. In fact, Ray, you can tell that some of these this bell in particular calls out to individuals with the secondary enchantment. Sorry. So that's magical. Nothing on this floor seems to be non-standard. Do you look up, down, around, sideways at the mirrors?
Yeah, I'll look up and just take a look around the floor in general.
Nothing on this floor seems to be magical, but as you peer to the sky, you can tell that there's something almost... You can detect near to nothingness as not the floor above you, but the floor maybe above that. Because I think detect magic is like 30 feet. Yes. Seems to be almost inert with nothingness. You aren't seeming... from what you can tell, you might not be able to scry on the area. You might not be able to eavesdrop. Whatever's going on in the possible third floor, they have secured it to the point out of almost sure stupidity.
And I also wanted to check that folder that we were given to see if that had any magic or anything on it.
Checking out the folder doesn't seem to have any magical properties on it, but there is something in it that is magical, but it doesn't seem to be threatening. I believe you get the School of Magic when you detect magic.
Yes.
From what you can tell, it is an enchantment.
That can be very threatening.
Yeah, that's true. Well, take it as you will. Enchantment. But it seems to be like a small little portion of it that unless you're actually physically touching it, maybe the enchantment won't work. But compared to the entire envelope, it is small. Think envelope and then old... I wouldn't call them old, but technically it is old by technology standards. Old flip phones.
Okay. I'll just dump the envelope out on the table in front of me.
You dump the envelope containments out. You find 5 pieces of paper, 1 red card, somewhat inscribed with an insignia of the town guard, and then a pen. Do you pick any of them up?
I'll just sort the papers out with Mage Hand so I can see what's written on them.
Starting at the papers with a mage hand, you can determine that there are various quantitative notes on what is currently going on in the city, what to look out for, and what to explore. Maybe. The way they are written, you can tell that they are specifically handwritten, not magically or through other types of means. The printing press has yet to be established. That being said, though, you can tell that they are methodical. They are describing what's currently going on in the city, who is where, what places to perhaps look for if you're going on an investigation no route. He marked various areas in the city. One is known as the canal system, which you've already been given information on. The school, which you know of. A strange broker's establishment that is inside the city that you have yet to explore. Anderson Robotics Incorporated, which is one of the buildings, and what Zold... It's in the same address site that Zold gave you. But he marked the entire street. Maybe he has people around the street observing them, but can't get inside for one reason or another, perhaps. Another place he has locked on is the Council of Five's church. And another site he has locked on to is the castle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Based on the information you have, there are notes that it's not anything you haven't found yet, but there are other shorthand notes indicating thought patterns and systems. So he does have a system going on that he's observing, but you might not be able to figure it out unless you have, I think it's a feat that you can create ciphers.
Yeah.
Unless you have that. It might take some very long time, or you can just ask him. But he seems to have most, if not everything, that you have already been or found out. However, he does have more information on the engine itself. Apparently, the engine is supposed to be, according to the reports, the first initial reports, a system of energy to allow greater expansion on the city's main infrastructure system. It would allow more individuals to go on without a necessity for said gas lamps, and to bring in what is known as electricity into the township itself. This would further develop and gain infrastructure within the city and allow for a greater plumbing system as well, and the slums themselves to gain more value than it is currently possessing of, allowing the main capital to be a force to look at, something to adhere to, and something to strive for. This would be in more or less words, he does state like beta testing. I couldn't really find a distinctive pattern for that, so I just wrote beta testing. Site, in order to make sure that everything is in working order. The signature underneath that information is by Anderson Robotics and the former king of the site king of the city / country until he got sick. So the established contract was made by Anderson Robotics and the former king. Still alive, just no longer ruling. However, looking into this, the captain of the guard seems to have a suspicion, much like yourselves, that something else is going on. And this clearly is not simply for that, as they would not need so many scientists and engineers to enter into the city for some engine system. And based on how much coolant, as they described, to go underwater and to craft this is something that needs to be observed and explored, and perhaps has ties to the missing individuals. But so far I have, in his own notes, I have not made any connections, just simple hearsay. And the amount of individuals going missing in the canals tied to the water, it's possible that they are abducting them. But this is simple information gathering that I believe might lead to something. is how he's phrasing it. So either something else is going on there, which you already know something else is going on there based on your own information, but either they know what exactly is going on, or someone is very much trying to get them in trouble. Who's to say? You're to say. What about the red card?
Yeah, I'll take a look at it, see what it says on it.
On the red card, it does seem to have an established insignia of the town guard / police force. Based on the information and the tag on it, you can tell that it is enchanted for an insignia inspector's badge. Basically, you are technically under the guise of private detectives, with the authority of said town guard.
Okay. I'll let the others know what the cards are for.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we can show people these cards to let them know we're officially allowed to investigate on behalf of the town guard. So we may want to hang on to them.
Do you pick up the pen? Or mage hand it again?
I'll just use Mage Hand to handle it.
Okay, you pick up the pen. Nothing happens. It's fine. It doesn't seem to be the standard pen that you're accustomed to, as it doesn't have the metal-tipped scoop at the end. It seems to be more, in actual terms, more like a ballpoint pen, but the metallic tip is longer.
I'll just take a look at it and try writing with it on one of the pieces of paper.
Okay, mage hand or your own hand?
I'll just use my own hand.
All right. As you begin to write down the scribble, I'm just going to say you write the alphabet. As you're beginning to write the alphabet, a message begins to be inscribed on the piece of paper that you found, let's say, and if you don't have paper. The message underneath then reads, "To those that might inquire on this information, note that this information is classified unless deemed necessary to expand on said information. The captain of the guard has decided to investigate matters but cannot dive further and deeper into said situations based on the information and the ties that these people might possess. As such, he has deemed it necessary to bring in secondary evaluators to make sure everything is on the level, as they would say. That establishment does connect and tie to you. If you so choose to take this information and work with it, you will be allowed and able to gather and collect a bounty on this said information of a total of 2,000 gold per individual that conscribes with said information. As such, you would be allowed access to this temporary badge. However, once shown the first time, this badge would no longer be workable. So do keep in mind, if you decide to use it, it is a one-time thing. So, while investigating, do keep your own authority as in check. If you decide to use it soon, then it'd be simple as that. As this is more of, how do they phrase this, a warrant than a complete and permanent badge in order to investigate, as you do not necessarily work for said city. So, if you truly mean to work with this said information, and regardless of what you decide, you must write down yes or no at the end of this message, and then conscript a name at the end of this message to what you want to be referred to as. It does not have to be your own, but it has to be a name that you will collect the bounty on. And message. And then underneath that message are a set of lines that you inscribe underneath it for the amount of individuals that are currently on said table. And on the other side, same amount of lines, just shorter. And then on top of those lines, indicate Y or N. So yes or no. If you had to guess, everyone else's manila envelopes have the same type of inscriptions. Just yours activated first because you wrote it.
I'll show the writing to everyone and ask, what do you want to do about this?
Well, I'm sure that we could use the authority that it gives. So I'd say we can go ahead and sign up. Fake names, of course.
Well, I kind of already committed to the church.
This isn't exactly a contract. This is more like, hey, are you going to help out? Yes? No? If you do, you get money. If you don't, well then, don't. It's not something you have to be adherent to. It's just something you can collect on, which gives you a bit more information on things. But I'm going to let you guys pick up on that if you guys decide to pick up on that. But no, it's not like, oh, I read this name. Oh, now I'm a part of the town guard. No, it's not like that.
I'll write down the name Blue and Y.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
I'm trying. Stupid headset. Sorry. I would have wrote my name down.
Mm-hmm.
I would write Quincy Bishop.
I like how you're given a choice of writing a fake name and you still write your real name. Okay.
I'm already part of the Knights. It's.
Zold will write down his name as Farwalker.
All right. What about you, Morthos?
Yeah, I'll write down my covert name that is already being used. Yeah.
Gonna be honest, I forgot about Sorthos. Cerulean would write down. Oh wait, Ray already took Blue. Let's see. She's technically an SMR right now. I'll just go with Angie.
Angel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Angie. Angel's too much on the nose. Zen would write down Tiefling because she hasn't changed yet. Delilah? Yeah, Delilah sounds like a not terrible Tiefling name. Demonic name, rather. And it would fit her. I'm assuming, Morthos, that Peep isn't going to sign?
How does Peep sign? Does he know how?
I'm going to be honest, no.
Probably not, because more than likely he's going to be hiding soon.
That's fair. But for some reason or another, there is a secondary, not a secondary, but an extra line.
Ray will give the pen her. Was it fairy dragon or pseudo dragon?
I believe it was a technical fairy dragon, but in context terms, it would be a pseudo dragon.
She'll give the pen to her partner and ask if they want to sign. Asking it draconic.
All right. You ask it that. It nods, and in draconic, it simply states, If this is necessary, I suppose I can delve into this matter. That being said, I do not sign the normal way you all do. He then bites the pen in half, grabs his, well, not grabs his, paws the ink, and then smears it on said paper. And then just makes a slapdash X on the Y section. Well, you could probably get another pen from someone else. The pens are still there.
Yeah, we all have a pen, so except for you now.
I mean, Cerulean opens her. Yeah, Cerulean would more or less check out her own parchment, indicating if there's anything different. There isn't, and she just leaves it on the table. She takes the red badge, though, so if you want to take that pen, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'll ask if she wants it.
I don't really write. Have at it.
Thank you.
Zen takes out her stuff, seeing if there's anything different. There's not. She keeps all her stuff, though. Does anyone else do the same?
I will.
Okay. Same old, same old.
I will toss the pen to Ray.
Gold will look over his things, but he's gonna keep all his stuff.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. And what about you, Quincy?
Stupid Mike. Yes, I'm gonna keep all my stuff.
Okay. There's nothing different in any of yours whatsoever. So,
Sorry, my mic keeps cutting out. I'm gonna try to answer a lot of times, so
that's fine.
sorry.
It's all good. Exploring and diving into the information you now have basically what is considered a warrant for, well, situations like this. Do you do anything, or do you just rest up for the night as you had intended to do before opening the envelope?
Would I know the name of the prince, I guess, that went off to war?
The first prince?
Him.
Yes. You would know him. Sorry. The first prince, you all would likely know him as. Well, he is the next heir of the established country. His name is Salvo. The secondary prince, Ray would likely know based on, well, ties and connections to the school, which he's currently a member of said school. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Need to type it down. His name. Oh, that's a weird name. Whatever. His name is Coster. Costar? Forgot how to pronounce it, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go with Coster.
Booster.
Yeah. But Salvo is the supposed next heir. However, he's at war, so he can't exactly lead while on the battlefield, but a messenger based on the information you've told one another has been sent.
Do we know when the messenger was sent?
You do not, but based on the vague wording that Q got, it has been some time, but not forever ago. It does take a month to get there, but maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, based on the context. So they're close, but they're not close enough that they'd show up within the next minute.
Would I know him well enough to be able to cast a sending to tell him?
That's the thing. Would you have any ties with royalty? And for that matter, what was that?
Unlikely.
Okay.
I mean, if the one.
Well, depends on the spell.
brother
What can the spell do? Because if you just need to know his name and his face. Let's see. A creature in which you are familiar. I guess it depends on the word familiar. I wouldn't think you would meet him, but you are aware of him.
Most people have described familiar as spoken to in person at these points.
Yeah, that
I
would
was
make sense.
super muffled.
I heard it. Basically, have you ever spoken with this individual before, Ray? You can say yay or nay.
Probably not.
Then probably not. You can like roll a d20, and if you get above 10, you might be able to get a message out, but not a message back.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Going to bed soon anyway.
Okay, then 3. So you send the message out there. Who knows if they got it though? It's a possible, but not a definite. But the message was sent out. How long it'll take to get there? Technically, it's supposed to get there instantaneously, but that's still a 3. So who knows how dialed up his internet connection is? We'll have to find out soon enough.
Right. So, I guess we should go get some sleep and then head to the robotics place, I guess.
Yes, Anderson.
All right.
All right. You all make a tent here and there, form little cubbied areas that you decide to sleep in, or you can go to the second floor and sleep on most of the couches that are there. That's perfectly fine. No one's in there currently.
Q's gonna go sit out on the porch.
You do so. Still no one there.
Ray'll just try and find a comfy chair to sit in to do her trance thing.
Mm-hmm. Morthos goes into collective chair mode. Zen will go to the bar. Pocket the bell, but won't ring it. Just making sure that no one messes with it, basically, is her intention. Don't know what Zold's doing, but I'm assuming just chilling out.
He's going to invite his wife to share a drink and then head upstairs with his wife.
So they're gonna have fun. Drink in hand, they head upstairs to the room that they technically ordered beforehand, but this time without a third party. In the meantime, Morthos, are you going to sleep or are you gonna run around the area?
Going to approach Q to discuss what she's heard about them looking for this tiefling.
All right.
Q's just sitting on the stairs leading up to the building.
Hi, Q.
What's up, Morthos?
As you hold the volleyball.
No, volleyball's are here.
Boo.
I'm so glad
Yeah,
one of you got
you
it.
got your volleyball.
Boo. What's up?
So this whole the 5 looking for a tiefling
I have
situation.
a feeling they're looking for you. From what you've said, I have a good impression that they're looking at you. And what I did get from them, it seems to be you. I don't know exactly why, but she didn't. The young girl didn't seem evil. She looks exactly like you. So if they're looking for you, she must have some ties to you, and from what you said, I don't think it's to kill you like the other group did. But I still don't quite fully trust them, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah, I can handle some churches, but most of the time I stay away from them. To my knowledge, I've never heard of them.
Like by
Sorry,
them, do you mean the Council of Five or the individual that Q mentioned?
sorry, I stopped dead in my tracks with my thought because I read what Ray's putting.
Oh,
yeah, Ray distracted you.
Focus. But no, from my knowledge, or as far as I know, the Council of Five is not involved with the Order.
no.
So I don't know. It might be something to look into later when we have more time, but
Well,
still just
I'll pull out the sword they gave me. I have their authority, so, and I'll stick it back.
Morthos, you have Devil Sight, right?
yes, I do.
Looking at the blade, you can tell there's an adherent, thin wisp of magic coursing through the blade itself.
I'm going to start backing away.
Okay.
What's the matter?
There's magic on that blade. Can we have Ray look at that?
I mean, if you guys want.
Yeah, she'd be willing to look at it if you brought it to her.
Okay. 10 minutes later, Ray, you divide the blade. The blade's a simple blade. It does have a silver-tipped lining to it. However, it's also been blessed. The wisp of magic in itself does seem to have a ornate enchantment upon it. Not something that will detect evil, detect good. More like making sure if you are in danger, it might. You identified it, so I'll just give you it. If you're close to death or need a little bit of an extra boost, you can roll 1d8 and regain that much HP. It's only feasible and usable once. It's supposed to work on instinct, but congratulations, you identified it, so you can do it whenever you want now.
Yay. Well, at least it wasn't something worse.
Can y'all hear me? Thank
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Fucking Mike. I swear to God.
Yep, I heard you.
Yeah. Hear you cussing.
Alright. Well, at least it's not what you thought. That's good. Or what I
Yeah.
thought. But the woman that we met seemed to know you guys. So she's a part of the group. So I mean, I am now, of course, but
Well, let's
I
just keep quiet about me for now.
Oh, I didn't plan on saying anything about you.
We
I
can look
most-
into that later.
Yeah, I mostly joined so that I can keep tabs to let you know, honestly, personally, because they weren't gonna send someone with us, but honestly, I felt that it'd be better probably for one of us, and since I was already there, to join instead of having an outside presence. Just have me as their agent, so that nothing gets leaked too much.
Alright. Well, time to go make sure Peep's not destroying the kitchen.
In the meantime, Peep is destroying the kitchen. No. Thankfully enough, Zen, the babysitter, is there.
Yay!
That being said, well, this
Wait,
was going. Go
wait.
ahead.
I was trying to say something, but my mic went out again. Fuck! Sorry. I was trying to say something to Morthos before he went inside.
Okay, Morthos comes back.
Sorry. I apologize again. Q just kind of looks down at her hand where the ring was, or I don't know if it's still there or not, that Mab put on her, and I do apologize again for not saying more quicker about what I did.
We all have secrets. Some of us have more than others. And then Morthos is just gonna walk away at that point.
Oh, you just hear out of the quiet. At least you didn't kill your father.
That he's aware of.
Well, at least he wasn't there and had the intention to kill the father.
That's fair. In the meantime, while that was going on, Ray, go ahead and roll for me since you're in a trance. Technically, yeah, go ahead and roll for me a perception check. Oh wow. Yeah. From what you can tell, there's a strange windy reoccurrence that happens around the counter. There's really no other way to describe it except for like a slight wind pattern that you can tell based on the curtains just moving slightly. The curtains themselves are 3 feet on top, not on top, above the ground, so there's no one like hiding behind it. But there was like a small enough breeze that caused the curtains to bloom. Yeah, kind of.
I'm sure Morthos or Zen will take care of it.
It's perfectly fine. It's just something you noticed. Martha and Zen are currently watching over Peep. Zen more or less is trancing, but kind of just sitting there, not really focusing on anything. She technically can't trance, but she can still do the 4-hour thing. She just can't do anything heavy. It's more akin to the Warforge variant.
Yeah, where they just sit there inactive, but they've still got their perception.
So when Morthos comes back in, while she's playing with Pete, she turns over to him and then states, Morthos, do you need any help with anything?
Unless you know how to get rid of a church sect, probably not.
I mean, it depends on what kind of church.
One that kills people because they're different?
Oh, I mean, that's easily enough done if you have an ear to the governing party or anyone above them. So if you have any ties to the royalty or the leader of said establishment, you could sway the balance.
I don't think I have either of those, but I'll look into it later.
She lightly chuckles and then states, I'm assuming this has to do with you rather than a simple question, though?
Yeah, things are finally starting to catch up.
She sighs, picks up one of the drinks that were there, which is technically an Irish coffee, drinks some of it, and then states, yeah, same with me. I mean, honestly, we're not that different from each other, other than the fact, no, actually, we're kind of not that different right now. As she points to her own horns and slightly chuckles. She might be a little tipsy. But she does state, I mean, other than the tiefling thing right now, according to you, you're being hunted down, and according to Q, you're being hunted down. Kind of the same with me. Who knows, maybe it's more closely connected than anything else. I mean, if anything, if these people that are hunting you down consider you some type of monster. Could be the same thing for me.
Son, before you drink that, I'm going to actually take the drink from her and I'm going to check it because I've been meaning to, but we were discussing stuff before anyone started drinking.
Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming you detect. Okay. Detecting it, you can tell that there's a lot of alcohol in it, but it's being masked by the other mixed drink. Other than that, there is no indication of a third substance within it.
Okay. That's what I've been curious about to make sure of.
Mm-hmm. You take a little sample of each of the drinks. None of them. I'm just gonna say you have a random drug poison kit. None of the papers turn red, indicating death. So they're fine. They're just very alcoholic.
Yeah. I'll give it back to her, I guess. Don't drink too much.
Like,
Okay. You slightly see at the ground of her feet, she's slowly moving like 2 cups away, away from peripheral vision.
Oh boy.
But yeah. I mean, if they consider you a monster, then they might consider me one. So, she raises a cup, but you have no cup in hand. Here's to 2 creatures of the night that might destroy the world one day.
I will have one drink with her.
All right. It's not a
But
high
I'm
con save.
trying to play it off. I'm actually trying to play it off. So I was going to see if I could do a performance to make it look like I was drinking.
Yeah, go ahead and roll performance. She already She's finishing her third, but she's already drinking. Go ahead and roll performance. It's not going to be that tough, but still. Okay. You easily enough perform to the event of, hey, I'm drinking too, but you've never actually removed the lid from said drink. But again, these drinks are very alcoholic, so she probably is fuzzy than anything else, so that's perfectly fine.
Probably before she gets any worse off, I would go get Q and, hey Q, Sen's kind of getting drunk in here. You want to watch over her?
Yeah, I'm coming.
And then I'll get
You,
P.
as you had approached, you noticed that Q had a little. There's this little image of a rose, an ice rose, floating in the air in front of her, over her hand. She's just was staring at before you said anything.
Okay. Get P and just kind of find a spot to relax for the night.
I'll come join Zen.
Hey, you join her. Ray, you can tell that Q has entered back into the establishment. No secondary wind factor or anything like that. So whatever that wind gust was, it wasn't Morthos just coming in. But whatever. Nothing happened. Could be the AC. But then just looks towards Q and then goes, "Oh, Q, you're here." She turns over to where Morthos was, but then goes, "Oh, I mean, I guess Morthos decided to go and sleep for the night. You want a drink?"
Sure.
She hands you a drink, almost tips it over, but she does hand it to you. I don't really know what it is. I just been drinking what's here.
Anything is fine after the day we've had. I do apologize for not letting you know beforehand.
It's fine. I'm just, getting, well, the way you guys wanted to do things, I'm just ironing my will for tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
You okay there?
I mean, I will be. More than likely, we're gonna have to meet at a secondary house. Because I doubt they want, she kind of points to herself, me in their actual home. But that doesn't matter.
Well,
So don't expect too much.
they're not. They don't even. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, I was trying not to cough into the mic. Well, they don't know what they're missing out on. If they shun you.
I suppose they don't. She does laugh at that. A little too loud. She might kind of need to stop at a certain point in time before she finishes the third drink. But she does laugh. Morthos, I feel that's a little meta, but you do so, and you don't really detect anything. Perhaps the strange wind disappeared.
Oh no, I was just looking around to make sure there's more to look outside.
Yeah. So you look around first at the environment around you. You don't really see anything. You look out the window. Nothing yet. Whatever was here, who knows where it went? Do you look up, down, around?
No, mainly just keeping an eye on the outside.
Okay.
See if anyone comes too close.
Then going back to Q and Zen. Zen just simply states, after the chuckle, well, if you're all joining me and after we check out the robotics place, after that, I should be fine. I just kind of don't want to remember tonight.
You sure?
Well, yes and no. I'd rather not just be standing around and being fidgety all night. The only way I can technically go to sleep are two ways. One, someone has to knock me out, which I'd rather not. And two, if I drink.
I can keep you company. You
Uh,
have fun shopping?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but I don't think the other two liked shopping.
I guess it just wasn't their thing. If you ever wanted someone to come shopping with you, all you have to do is ask.
You see, this is kind of a sore topic. The question you asked wasn't something she was expecting, mainly because she asked people to go shopping, not the other way around. So she is taken aback by this, and from what you can tell, has no real way of responding. So she continues to drink.
I just smile, give her a big grin.
All right. In the meantime, technically Zold is preoccupied, so I'm gonna have to make you roll. Zold, go ahead and roll for me one perception check, please. Nice. While nothing is currently going, well, there's plenty going on in the room that you're currently at. Did you hear a strange, subtle sound not too far away from you? Not in the room, but something near it. Other than that, nothing else seems to happen.
Finish the current business at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Flip just like a robe of some sort on and just step out to look around real fast.
All right. Looking around, I'm going to use your past perception check this time because you're no longer distracted. On the ground does seem to be a small piece of paper. You didn't see that when you first arrived, but you now see it.
Pick it up and take a look. I assume something's written on it.
Picking it up and taking a look at it, you can tell that there's a strange indicating mark on it. while you have no real knowledge of who or what left this here, you can tell that there's a distinctive mark of AR Inc., which might be Anderson's Robotics, based on the information that you currently have. However, underneath it, it does state, "Beware the child and the crying scream." No, beware the children and the crying scream. Sorry, that's a typo.
He had me to go in there. I was about to have a mini heart attack.
Like, multiple children is any better.
I'll step back into the room and I'll ask Cerulean what she makes of it.
Not quite sure. If I had to guess, something we'll likely encounter if we go there. The first one indicates location, and the second one indicates possible situation. Although, the only people that write like this are not, let's say, good people.
Why warn us?
If I had to guess, they have some type of connection to this place. And, well, if they warn us, less collateral damage. It's what I would do, but I'm not usually working with more than one person, so collateral damage isn't really my concern.
Let's get some rest. We'll tell the others about this in the morning.
Rest sounds good, but if that's really what you want. Underneath the floor that you're currently on, you do hear a commotion. Basically, Zen and Q, well, Zen mostly, kind of getting drunk.
I would hate to bother them.
Another night then. And the rest of you, enjoy your nights. Zen, after a while, you do hear the strange whistling wind once more.
Zen.
Not
mean
Zen. Sorry. I'm quite literally looking at Zen's token. Ray, you then hear the wind once more. It doesn't seem to be abrupt. It doesn't seem to be dramatic. It just happens. And that's basically it for the night. None of you did anything except getting drunk, wasted, had a good night, got a warning from some strange individual, and made sure Pete didn't consume the kitchen.
Q would just wait till Zen gets a little to the point of no return, and then tried to help her sleep
That's
by
about...
casting sleep on her.
Yeah, that sounds good. So 3 drinks later for a total of 6. She's basically down for the count.
And
the sleep spell wouldn't work, but again, she already stated alcohol or getting knocked out would.
Right. I'll just carry her and help her to her room to sleep for the night.
All right. To save time, you carry her to the second floor and you find a room that is currently locked, and you go to another one. Easily enough done, and you do find a nice little couch area with a sitting room side table. You likely spend the night there while Zen gets some sleep.
I'll sit at the table and just kind of doze in and out throughout the night.
I had assumed.
Occasionally wake up just to check on her.
As the night passes and no one seems to be attacked by any mobsters or any bar goers, you all come back in the middle of the day, refreshed, renewed, and not dead. Some of you more refreshed than others. Others, well, let's just say they can't handle alcohol.
Quick question for you, mechanic-wise. If she's passed out drunk, if I were to use the lesser restoration to cure the drunkenness, would it wake her up?
Probably. I mean, you can try, but Probably.
I was just because yeah, okay.
I mean, you can do it when she wakes up, and that'll be better.
Yeah, I'll wait till she starts to stir awake and then just cast that so she don't have the headache that
Nice.
comes with how much she drinks.
So after everyone wakes up and Zen for the first time, whenever she's done this, doesn't have a headache, which she is more than enough grateful for. The team reconvenes on the second floor, and you do have the place for another 2 hours, but right now it's close to 7 a.m. in the morning. And we're going to say the team reconverges near the bar area. Unless Ray decides to go on the table.
I got a warning last night.
A warning about what?
Oh, Ratian of the paper. That's a good question as to what it's warning about, but it's certainly nothing good.
I'll read it, shrug, and put it back on the table. Well, I doubt that changed our plans at all.
No, just something to be on the lookout for.
While this is going on, Cerulean then states, fair enough then. I would suggest caution, but we're already being cautious more than enough. Right, sorry. Didn't get much sleep last night. Anyways, that being said, we do have a direction we need to move. Should we get going to Anderson Robotics, or should we go and head way towards Zen's little situation? I believe we went with Anderson's Robotics, but just wanted to make things clear.
I do think, unfortunately, Robotics Incorporated.
She does not intern.
Hello, didn't hear anything. I heard robotics and that was it. Hunt, sorry. What'd you say?
Basically, are we ready to go to Anderson Robotics Incorporated?
I guess. Yeah.
Yes, I have no other preparations to make.
All right, how are you going to go? You can easily walk there. That's not an issue. I mean, like, are you gonna disguise yourselves?
How are we going to go? I think we might walk. No, I think we should fly, guys. We should fly. I'm gonna go as myself.
All right.
Yeah, I'll just go in my normal disguise.
I'm not
I'll
gonna.
put my persona on.
I'm not
Oh
gonna.
no.
I'm known in the city, so I'm not gonna hide who I am.
You could if you wanted to.
Do what?
You could if you wanted to.
I'm not going to.
Fair enough. I'm assuming Marthos stays in their disguise.
He said Discord, yes. He's gonna go disguised.
Okay. And I think everyone else is good to go. So, Q's the only one that decides to go all natural.
I mean, I'm not gonna hide my authority.
Fair enough. Alright, moving you all to Anderson Robotics Incorporated. You make way straight towards the area, and the area enough is not too much of an issue. However, as you arrive there, two guards stand in front of the said building. It's a very large, almost dome-like construction pattern. In front of it stands two strange garbed individuals with almost what appears to be chainmail on top of their heads, almost like a veil. On their face itself seems to be a strange black mask with this one black bar of white in the middle of it. Looking at you and your lot, they simply state, in unison, "Welcome to Anderson Robotics. Please make way as you are not or affiliated with this situation. However, if you are looking to tour the site, I believe our hours are 7 to 3.
But yes, I am very much affiliated, and I will hold up the piece of paper. I won't show them what's on it, but I'll just show the symbol.
The investigation badge, or what specifically?
Warning.
The warning?
Yes.
Okay, I'm afraid this does not qualify you for an investigational route measure. However, that does seem to indicate the two affiliate members that we have currently established here. Oops, ignore that map. Ignore that map.
Norm.
That one's fine. You just have yet to go to the actual doorway. But the more or less robotic guards don't seem to let you pass.
Then what is this invitation for? What is its purpose?
I am not quite sure, sir. Perhaps it indicates that you are looking to inspect or communicate with these individuals. If that's so, I believe our touring hours are from 7 to 3.
And yes, well, where may I start the tour at then?
Yes. I would have to bring in an associated affiliate to make sure that you are watched over as you begin to tour. You are only allowed in the first stepped corridor section, but beyond that will be the rest of the laboratory.
Yes, then in here. I'd like my tour.
Very well then, good sir. One of them heads inside and then the other one states, "Please wait while we get the associated affiliate to begin the tour." Now then, how was your day?
Just beginning.
Very good. Lovely weather, do we not have? Interesting. Now tell me, what brings you here?
Or
Ah, I see. Lovely weather we have, do we not? It continues on like this for a while. As that happens, the secondary individual that looks pretty much the same comes back with what appears to be a short halfling woman with robotic arms on their back, almost like Doc Ock, but just two, and more prestigious humanoid than anything else. They do have pink hair and bun-like pattern on the top of their heads. She comes over and simply states, "Hi, are you the tourer? I guess it's a little early for tours, but whatever, our hours are still our hours."
Yes, bright and early. Yes, the tour. Please, mademoiselle, if you would be so kind.
All right, please write in this ledger and we can begin. She gives you a ink quill and a ledger book. It seems that a lot of people have been touring the site, just no one of importance, from what you can tell.
Yeah, take a quick look, mentally bookmark some of any names that might look different, and then just for his signature, it's just going to be a bunch of like scribbles basically, but he's going to like play it off as like super posh writing.
That's perfectly fine. From what you can tell, she's not really looking at it. Just she's basically running through the motions of her job. Right. Are you the only one going to tour, or everyone else is looking at the rest of the team?
No. Yes, this bouquet of mine. It is following me.
Okay. Well, if they're part of your regimen, I suppose they would work with your name. It's what we did with the last time. Group.
Oh, those. What was the other group about?
Some noble named Noel or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't part of that group. Well,
Yes. Incredibly interesting.
Whatever.
The four of them.
All right, step right in. She then opens the doors, and the other guards step to the side. May you have a blessed day. Tell me, how was your day? And they continue on that cycle for a while, but you skip that part. Let's see. Laboratory. As you enter inside, two individual females, about the size and age of children, are currently being surrounded with what appears to be a giant pumpkin-like eye creature, a strange ghost-like thing, and what appears to be a more or less size of a owlbear aboleth, which probably Ray is the only one that would. No, yeah, Ray would probably be the only one that knows what that thing is. They don't seem to be afraid of it. Rather, they seem to be in the middle of this triangle, just playing around.
It has literally never come up before and probably will never come up again, but my favorite enemy is Monstrosity.
I mean, you can attack them if you want.
Monstrosities and Apparitions, because I love them.
Yeah, fair enough. The woman then states, do be aware that try not to attack these guys, points towards the creatures / individuals that you clearly identified. They're currently guarding the two in the middle. Do be aware.
Children, are they, the children, are they dangerous?
She waves it, giving a non-committal, They can be if taken away from this site or left to their own devices. They're children after all. They don't exactly know what they can do just yet.
How are they dangerous?
More or less, points to the one in pink. She can more or less manipulate the bodies of other individuals and change their form and pattern. The secondary one seems to have advanced the knowledge of warforges and data collection and the like. Together, they are a very powerful individuals if left to their own devices, or if some strange and evil dark organization were to get their hands on them.
So why are they here? Why aren't they with their parents?
Unfortunately, they aren't. Unfortunately, she then continues again, they are far away from home, and from what I remember and the information I've been given, they don't have any.
Would they not be in better custody of the guards then, if they are not as dangerous as you say?
But they couldn't profit from the children if they were in the custody of the guards.
She does nod towards you, Ray. More or less true. However, some of the guards are not exactly... Well, you've seen them in town, I'm sure. The best trained right now. Most of the better trained ones have been sent out to the fight in the east. But yes, more or less, the profitable part is true, and more than likely, we are likely the best ones to keep them safe in this... Well, I'm sure you've heard the rumors of the missing individuals that have been propagating in town.
Yes, the rumors are abundant. And I also can't help but notice this is a large metal bull. There was rumors that one smashed up a china shop not too long ago.
Right. Well, she does say underneath her breath, but all of you have enough perception, a past perception that you do hear. I mean, I was gonna let you just wander around and get back to work, but answering questions it is. Yes. Unfortunately, they did escape before we could initiate the full program sequence. So, they did ruin a few shops here and there, but luckily enough, no one died. Thankfully enough, too. From what I've heard, strangers in a strange land, or whatever that weird guy, Timmy, whatever, said. Look, I don't really do tours. If you want to talk, I'm here. Otherwise, you can look around. Just don't mess with the kids. Oh, and don't go further into the site. You're not technically allowed access beyond this section.
Of course, mademoiselle. I would hate to hear the kids cry and scream.
Are we allowed to speak with the children?
As long as you don't, well, I'm sure none of you have any weapons you want to raise against them.
I threat the day that we raise arms against children.
You'd be surprised how people are. But sure, if you want to speak with my boss, though, they aren't coming until 5, so visiting hours would be over by then. So you need to make an appointment. And she goes
Perhaps.
back to the iron mechanical construct they're repairing. Okay. Basically, you're able to just wander around inside this section of the facility. You just can't wander further in, and you're not exactly sure how to wander further in, honestly.
He's gonna walk up to the kids. And, hi there.
You do see the more or less mechanical child looks towards you, but the pink-haired girl looks towards you and simply states, "Oh, hi, miss. Do you need something?"
Seeing how you, what you guys were up to.
Oh, we're fine. I'm just making sure that she's okay. Looks towards the more metal individual.
So she hurt?
Kind of. Well, we're kind of frail, and I want to make sure that she's, better.
I can heal her if she needs it.
She shakes her head. Not like that. It kind of has to be continuously. I'm not really sure if you're able to do that.
Not continuously, no.
I mean, it's fine. But she continues to look towards you. But right now they are just simply playing a small game. From what you can tell, it is Jacks. If you've ever played Jacks, it's the standard Jack rules and settings. They also have a deck of Uno cards next to them, but I'm assuming Q doesn't know what Uno is.
No.
But she looks towards you again. Do you need something?
No, it's just how you like it here.
I mean, it's fine. We're made sure to taken care of. We can't really go outside thanks to the people that have gone missing. But we're fine. I make some friends so we can play around.
You talking about the three here?
She does not.
Ah.
I made some other friends, but she looks towards you, slightly whispers, but it's like a kid whispering. But some of the, I think, adults took some of them to study or something. I mean, I don't know why they want to study them.
You never know with some adults.
She shrugs. I don't know. The last place I was at did the same thing, kind of. They only let me keep some of them, but these people let me keep more of them. So I like them better.
Right, I understand. They treating you well?
Treat me fine. I mean, they give me food, make sure I can play around. Whenever I accidentally get hurt, they bring in a healer to heal me.
Good.
I mean, I can't really do the healing thing on myself. I can only do it on, she looks towards her friend, her. So they need to bring in someone else to heal me.
I'll look at the other girl and says, are you okay?
She looks towards you but says nothing. Oh, she doesn't talk. Well, she does, but she looks towards her. Do you mind? And then you hear robotic static sound coming from her mouth as she opens it and speaks. The words don't really come out.
Is there a reason behind that?
She shakes her head. I don't know. I mean, I asked her in writing if she wanted me to change that, but I'm not exactly sure what would happen. So she said no, and I was fine with that. I mean, we get along easily enough.
I'm gonna use the sixth sense ability that you said.
All right, roll for insight. No, you get an automatic insight. Just roll for well, that's
Natural ones.
It's still at a sixth sense feat. So observing around you, you can tell that the three individuals that overlap the two don't seem to be individuals that were at one point or another these things. So they were changed into these things. What they once were, who knows? But why they were changed into these, you could ask. But you know that these individuals were not always this.
So, are you able just to create them, your friends out of nowhere, or?
She shakes her head. No, I need, I think they called it a sample. It's sometimes creatures they bring in, or sometimes something underneath a blanket, so I don't really see what it is.
Right.
But they sometimes give me descriptions or pieces of paper to look at to change them into. She takes out what appears to be a small little scrapbook, and then shows you, shows you more or less what appears to be a mythological rather than an actual, in D&D terms, goblin. And yeah, Q, you're the one that had this. The depictions kind of resemble the strange piece of paper that you acquired a while ago in the library.
Y'all have to remind me.
A while ago, when you guys faced the Kraken and defeated it, you managed to scoop up a small piece of parchment that fell into the water.
About the Kraken itself, the stats of the Kraken.
Mm-hmm. It seems to resemble that type of structure.
And I'll pull it out and say something like this.
She shakes her head. Yeah.
Okay.
Although I haven't gotten that one.
You want it?
I mean, it's fine. It's yours.
I mean, I'll hand it over to her.
She takes it and then puts it in her scrapbook. She doesn't do anything with it currently, but she seems happy.
Yeah, that's my intent.
Yeah. In the meantime, Zold, what are you doing?
Just kind of moseying about, pretending to be interested in whatever people are working on. Not really trying to get in anyone's way. In fact, when he feels as though everyone's preoccupied, he's going to step into the ethereal plane and take a look around there.
Okay. As you step into the ethereal plane after you observe that everyone is currently preoccupied, Q, you sense that Zold's doing this, but you make no motion against it. Otherwise, you'd kind of be blowing his cover. Looking around, you can tell that there's currently nothing here, like no spooky ghost. Well, that's a poor choice of words. Nothing else out of the ordinary except for the strange spherical orb in the distance that you can observe. So while you get closer to it, in the brief instance you're in the ethereal plane, you can see before you step out this creature inside. And then you bounce back in. Now, what the orb is, you're not entirely sure, but it was blocking the vision of this said creature.
He'll mosey on about and he'll start to head back to the entrance, and as he does, he'll turn on his communicator. And under his breath, he'll tell everyone, There's something in that portal, that orb. Um, it. I think that's what they're hiding.
Go ahead.
Q kind of taps her thing to send just a tapping noise to acknowledge what he said, so that while still talking with the children.
Mm-hmm. Zold, anything else?
Just for the sake of exhausting all bases, I'll detect portal.
As you begin to observe a portal aiming straight in the direction of anywhere, just looking around and just sensing it, you begin to detect something in the far distance, but not too far. I already made established points that this is closer to the canal system, but not quite there. You can tell that there's something in the water. Not as if it's a portal, like the water itself is a portal, but the water itself seems to be from a different zone of existence. So somewhere in the water there is a portal. Where, you're not exactly sure, but some of this water is coming from that.
I'll let that be known in my communicator as well then.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tap the or not tap. I'll look at the robotic girl and ask her, would you like to be able to speak properly?
She looks at you. The pink-haired girl takes from her little scrapbook a small piece of paper that I've been writing on. She writes something on it, and she shows it to you. It just simply states, it doesn't matter.
I might be able to ask a friend if he could help. It might not work. It might.
She writes again and simply states, I'm fine. Based on what you can tell, it's like a kid basically stating, I don't know. But not speaking doesn't seem to trouble her.
I know. I just thought.
No, I get it.
Well, I can give it a try. I'll sit down while they're playing and just kind of say low, not under my breath, but a little low, not quietly, but not too quiet, and ask him and see if he could help fix to make it to where this girl can be whole again and not be in so much pain and not having to be healed all the time.
I'm assuming you're doing divine intervention?
Yes.
All right, I believe you have the roll for that.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Dang, didn't work.
You get a big Z signal. No one's picked up. Maybe a lot of people are talking with him right now. Or maybe he's too busy observing.
Well, didn't get anything from him, so I guess I am sorry it didn't work out.
Well, she wouldn't say it's okay. But the pink-haired girl does say, it's okay. You did all you could. In the meantime, Morthos, what are you doing?
Kind of just looking around at stuff.
You can just look around at stuff. Ray is currently looking at a giant bison-like creature mechanically. The blue-haired, the blue skin, what appears to be, I forget the fish folk race. Merfolk? No, sorry, she's a Genasi. And the halfling roboticists are currently fixing that broken mess that you guys made. Zen is currently with the group. of individuals just talking, and these two in the middle, Icarus and the other non-named NPC, because you haven't asked the name. For some reason, I chose to show you Icarus. I don't know why. Seem to be talking about something in hushed tones, but not so hushed that it's more like work conversation that they don't know who you are, so they're not saying it so loudly. Oh, and Q's harassing two children.
And I'm going to use Ghostly Gaze as I kind of just walk around.
Much like Zold, you don't really see anything. I think you can see through solid objects at a range. At a certain point, you yourself, once you run the corner of said site, do see what Zold saw. It's currently sleeping, where, from what you can tell, but the strange entity that Zold saw is there. It is quite literally there, not in the ethereal plane. Zold only saw it because this orb is not in the ethereal plane, so he could easily see through what was here, truly.
Oh, so this looks like some type of containment.
From what you can tell, yes.
So I would go off the knowledge of from the containment units back at the Foundation. Seeing
From what you can tell, it is similar but not the same. This one seems to be more...
No, I don't mean that they're similar, just that it's a containment because of seeing them, the ones that are back from there.
No, yeah.
And that it's not moving.
No.
Or sleeping, possibly.
The best way you can describe it is as if it's been isolated for a specific reason.
Gonna kind of wander back over here to Zold and Cerulean, and I moved Peep off the map somehow.
I think because you dragged them off the map.
Yeah.
I'll just get them from another map, that's fine. So you move towards them.
And yeah, that orb up there is like some type of containment cell. That creature's right on the other side. I
saw them.
Yeah, I have an ability that lets me see through solid objects, and I could clearly see it. It looks like it's sleeping.
What do you think we do then?
I don't know. I mean, they have it contained, so is it something we should worry about?
I mean, they may or may not be trying to bind something else, and the water does not belong here either, so...
You just?
I'm trying to think of how I... Yes, release that prisoner.
And any other potential prisoners they have.
Well, first factor is we've got 3 monstrous creatures with 2 little children that have, unexplained powers.
When you say that, one of the girls does feed the ghost a small star-shaped cookie. You don't know how the ghost ate it, but it did eat it.
Yeah, so we've got 3 monstrous creatures, 2 little girls with unknown powers, and all these robot-looking dudes around.
Ray, do you try looking underneath?
No,
Then you'll never know.
I can.
Did I see underneath?
No. Whatever it is, it's too dense. Maybe it's very good cloth. No, it's an actual ghost. Just strange.
Anyway, yeah, so I don't know how we should approach this situation.
Okay. Without knowing what to do, I'll move over towards Ray then. Ray, what are you doing to these 2 people?
I'll approach him and ask, is that the bull that was damaged in the city recently?
Without turning around, the halfling that you spoke with goes, yeah, got broken up. We lost the soul core, but that's fine. We can always make another one. Though it's gonna take a while with that size. Then the Janasi woman looks towards you. Don't mind her. She's kind of in a tizzy because her little toy got broken. Not a toy. Not a toy. Right. The blue individual woman looks towards you, Ray. Is there something you need, miss?
I was just wondering about your project here. If you really are using a soul core to animate it, it must be immensely powerful. And she said you'd be able to get another one?
Oh, yes, more or less. The woman that, the halfling looks towards you and simply states, "Not get another one, create one. Luckily enough, our refinement strategy has improved in the last couple of weeks, so that's a bonus. Don't really know what the boss is doing, but don't really care." She turns towards you, Ashley, this time, and then goes, look, you have 2 hands. Do you mind helping out?
As long as I get to keep them?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
need
fine.
help?
You don't need help then. She then looks towards the creature, and then you see the 2 robotic arms on her back pop off, and then 2 other hands replace them. And then the 2 other arms go into the jaw of the creature, and then almost meld with the head. All right, that should replace some of the organic matter. Then looks towards you. All right, do you want to actually help this time? I don't need your hands for anything sacrificial.
It depends what you need help with.
I just need to make sure people. She turns towards the Janasi woman. People are actually doing their jobs. And the Janasi woman then states, and I told you before, I don't really have burly hands to hold and turn screws around to make sure things aren't breaking apart. We don't exactly have the greatest of materials since this is a pet project. Whatever. She looks towards you, Ray. Basically, you'll be holding on to the metal while I forge it back.
Do you really think I'm strong enough for something like that?
I thought I'd ask. You'd be surprised what some people can do. She looks towards the 2 girls. I mean, those 2 girls over there. I mean, they can do some really crazy things. Some of the things that they've been able to do. Then the Janasi woman states, I don't think they have access to that information. It's fine. I'm only going to give them roundabout answers anyways. Some of the things they can do are, let's put it this way, are more advanced than magic and less advanced than technology. And dwarf both at the exact same time.
Interesting. So, what are they doing here?
For the lack of a better term, they are under our protection and theoretical employment. They aren't technically old enough to work here. So we are babysitting them, and they are helping out in research statistics.
What kind of research are they helping you with?
Testing. We do need subjects, and sometimes we can't acquire them. So we have them more or less make them for us. They can also make a few other things, but that is private information.
What kind of subjects?
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey,
I swear to God, I gotta get a new headset when I can afford it. Sorry.
That's
I didn't
fine.
mean to interrupt.
It's all good. The halfling, the Genasi then states to you, because the halfling would have gone back to work. Well, basically, they are making sure that we have the acquired testing material. We sometimes have to work with various assortments, so we have to get a whole onslaught of separate things. The most things we are currently working on, though, are aberration and monstrous creatures. Before that, though, we were working on celestial and fiend monstrosities.
that sounds rather dangerous, especially if their allies found out.
The halfling does state it can be dangerous, it can be not dangerous. It all depends on what we use it for. But right now, to me, it doesn't really matter. The boss gives us our work, we do it, and in the meantime, we can use any other material we need for our own side projects. And the material that we use is very expensive.
Ray gestures at the mecha bowl and asks, "So, what is the purpose of this particular side project?"
The Genasi woman then states, oh, here we go again. And then the halfling then states, good, glad you asked. Well, this thing is going to tread the land and make sure that it is viable and feasible to farm most of the sites that aren't farmable. I myself came from a little small farming village. Always made things, always invented things to make sure that things were easier. But Mom and Dad were all like, oh no, you need to feel the land. Hoe and plow the fields with your own two hands. And then I made some. And then they didn't like how I interpreted their meaning. But I got picked up after a while, went to school for a bit, and then found my way here. I still want to help out, but not exactly a traditionalist.
So I understand the goal, but isn't something like this, or wouldn't something like this be prohibitively expensive to
Yes.
do more than one of?
Yes, which is why this is a prototype and my side project. This is simple material that we've collected from other projects that we are assigned to. So it is expensive to make this, but it is expensive. The expense is on other projects. This is just the leftover material. Well, some of it. Some of it I had to requisition, like the soul core.
Yes, but I meant in regards to actually implementing it.
This
So-
is a large-scale beta test. I wanted to make sure that things, in all aspects, are capable. The other models will make smaller and faster. This one is bulky and the framework is quite weak.
And do you have anything to ensure it doesn't go after people again or cause more destruction?
Well, not exactly sure how this one got out to begin with. The Genasi woman then states, we're not exactly sure, she then turns towards you, Ray, how it got out, honestly. From what we can tell, everything seemed to be fine. It was out on the field for an instant to make sure that all of its legs were working properly. For some unknown reason, it decided to go wild and head out into town. It could be due to some of the strange magical fluctuations that have been happening in town, but not exactly sure. The halfling woman then states it could also be sabotage, but I don't know who would be stupid enough to mess with a machine that they don't know what they're doing.
How would someone go about sabotaging it? It looks like you have plenty of security here.
When we're outside testing things, it's less security. So it's possible that they did it then, but if they did have the knowledge to mess with things, especially my things, they are intelligent of themselves, or they might have someone planted here as a spy. This is just hearsay, though. I'm not exactly sure 100%, and honestly, don't really care. As long as the projects get done and I can still do mine, a little extra pay out to the city to make sure that the buildings get reconstructed, and the people that may or may not get hurt get better, everything is usually fine. After all, we did get the contract from the former king, so the current ruler can't really say much.
The former king?
The one that got sick
still
and is
alive?
currently bedridden. Should be, unless the current ruler killed him and no one knows about it. You'd probably find him in the castle still.
I see. Well, I'll leave you to it. Thank you for answering my questions.
Sure, whatever. Remember, hours of visit are 7 to 3. 7 to 3. Boss is at 5, so if you want to see him, make an appointment. The 2 guards up front can make the appointment. And she basically ignores you once you leave, but the Genasi woman simply waves you away. Well, it doesn't wave you away, but says bye when you leave.
I'll wave as I leave.
Mm-hmm. So, as you make way towards Q and the girls, Morthos and Zold and Cerulean are currently deciding on what to do and that strange creature in the corner. Zen is gathering information from another group, but we'll get to that another time. One thing is certain, though. If the message was, watch out for the crying, the exact wording, if I want to be accurate, is beware the screaming children. Is anything to say? They haven't screamed yet. That doesn't mean they aren't going to. But regardless of that, you made it here. Visiting hours are from 7 to 3. The boss is here at 5, so if you're going to visit him today, or decide to blow this area up before they get here, you're going to have to do it before 5. As we end the session for today.